Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do our March the 21st just for today in a meditation. I greet you this morning. I hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and get into that particular screen and see what we have. All right, let's see. A treatable illness. Okay, March 21st, a treatable illness. Addiction is a disease that involves more than the use of drugs. That comes from the basic text, page 3. At our first meeting, we may have been taken aback at the way members shared about how the disease of addiction had affected their lives. We thought to ourselves, disease? I've just got a drug problem. What in the world are they talking about? After some time in the program, we began to see that our addiction ran deeper than our obsessive compulsive drug use. We saw that we suffered from a chronic illness that affected many areas of our lives. We didn't know where we'd caught this disease, but in examining ourselves, we realized that it had been present in us for many years. Just as the disease of addiction affects every area of our lives, so does the NA program. We attend our first meeting with all the symptoms present: the spiritual void, the emotional agony, the powerlessness, the unmanageability. Treating our illness involves much more than mere abstinence. We use the 12 steps, and though they don't cure our illness, they do begin to heal us. And as we recover, we experience the gift of life. Just for today, I will treat my illness with the 12 steps. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. This meditation is interesting. Kind of carries over from a discussion we were having yesterday, talking about realizing that the disease of addiction is much more vast and wide than using drugs. When they told me that using drugs was just a symptom of the disease of addiction, that blew my mind. I was like, what? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And I had to correlate it, right? Relate it to something from, what I had learned about alcoholism with my pops. And I was like, oh, yes, okay, it is a disease. They did, I'm talking about the doctors now. I'm thinking medically, yes, they did make a decision that overusing alcohol was a sign of the disease of alcoholism. And so I correlated that in my brain with disease. Yes, I've heard this before. Oh, that makes so much sense. No wonder. No wonder. No wonder I'm not better, right? No wonder, just not using drugs brought me some benefits. But there were other things that were still very, very, very prevalent. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so this is serious. Y'all remember that song, Let's Get Serious? I was like, this is serious. Okay. Okay, girl. What are you gonna do? You gonna go back to using? Because I wasn't really sure that I had signed up for all that was being implied about recovering. And I wasn't in a hospital. I wasn't in a treatment center. I made up my mind to stop using. cold turkey. So I was like, oh, hmm, I don't know. I mean, I started looking at some of the gains I had made, and I was like, you if you can do that, if you can show up at work every day since you stopped using, you can stop lying about, why you're not at work. Huh, maybe you can do more if you really put your mind to it. I mean, it's not cloudy anymore. It's not foggy. It's not thinking about getting away from people so that you can go get high. Maybe, hmm, I might give this thing a real go. Initially, I just had a bet, you know. I had made a bet early in the program that I could stay clean longer than the people that had introduced me to it. It only took a couple years before they fell off. And when they fell off, I was like, Psh, you won the bet. Still with some clean time. I was trying to rationalize my way back out the door. You've proven you can do it. I mean, obviously, you must not be an addict if you can stop this long. I had to take a really good look at the spiritual void and the emotional agony and the powerlessness. And oh my goodness, the unmanageability had not gone anywhere. I mean, I couldn't manage my finances. I could not go. I'll just share this with you guys and I'll let you go. I was so manic. The financial unmanageability was out of this world. I could not pass a convention up. When I figured out I could party all night and stay awake all night on the weekends and dance all night and not be high, I was like, yeah, this is the life. I could not pass up a convention. And the conventions always had the best DJs. And so I was like, I would spend every dollar, every dime, every nickel, every penny. I became a convention addict. I could not pass up a convention to save my life, which ultimately resulted in financial devastation because I also couldn't pay a bill trying to get to the conventions. What do I mean trying to get to the conventions? Okay, ladies, let's talk about it. I don't know if the brothers go through this, but ladies, we're trying to figure out what we're going to wear to the banquet, how we're going to have our hair done, when to get our nails done, when to get our feet done, just in case we end up with someone in our room. We want our feet really soft, right? I was like, girl, you are. Look, guys, I was married and thinking like this. Hmm. It just kind of brings like this little awareness, sadness to me right now, thinking, here you are, a dressed up garbage can, clean on the outside, but the inside was so filthy and so dirty. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm really grateful I'm in recovery. And so I would spend my money, ladies, I would spend my money on my outfits and I would show up, pull up to a convention, and my vehicle would be loaded with nonsense. Almost 2 carts worth to get up to the hotel room. And I would walk through the door like I thought I was Diana Ross or somebody. Man, I'm so grateful today. So grateful today that I'm a lot different. Pretty much thinking about going to the Detroit area convention that's coming up in next week, I think. But my mind is not on that. Of all the clothes I have, right now, my mind is on what pair of Nikes, what pair of Nikes do I have that would be just ultra comfortable? My shocks, or do I try to wear my Chuck Norris's, right? They're not comfortable for the I have no arch, absolutely. So, my mind is not on how good am I going to look, it's how comfortable will I be, and so that's on my mind, that today my life is a lot different. I came into the program and thought not using drugs, just abstinence was enough, and found out that treating our illness, this last paragraph here, involves much more than mere abstinence. That's a mouthful. And I'm sure by now, if you haven't, you probably have come to the same awareness. And if you haven't, I hope that you do soon, because we use the 12 steps here, and they don't cure our illness, right? They help us to begin the healing process. We get to experience the gift of life as a result. We get to recover. We get to discover who we are. And there's so much joy in that today. We're not intentionally going around making other people miserable because we're miserable. And when we're miserable, there is a solution that we have learned. This process of self acceptance, surrender, right? Making meetings, writing the steps, trying to figure out our patterns, why we work the way we work. I told somebody yesterday, I said, it just seems like you're wired to want to please other people. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make other people happy, except for when it's at your own expense and the expense of your loved ones, your family, your wife, your husband, your kids. It's out of proportion at that point, right? And so Narcotics Anonymous taught me how to find the balance and be okay in that, and stop beating myself up over who I hadn't been and who I wasn't, and just accept, just for today. I understand that the disease of addiction involves more than just the use of drugs, but I have all of the tools that I need in this 12-step program to cope with, deal with, address all of the other stuff that it does involve. All I have to do is make up my mind that I'm going to stop messing around, stop playing games, cancel all the reservations, roll up my sleeves, and get busy. And, I feel like I just want to say this and end. If I can do it, Lord knows, if I can do it, I believe if I can do it, you can do it. And we got every reason to do it. We've caused so much harm in the past. Now we get to be productive members of our societies. Listen, I want for you to have a beautiful day. I'm struggling with the concept of it today. I'm just being 100 with you, right? I am so exhausted, and this arthritis is kicking my tail, right? And it's like what, maybe 29 degrees, if that today, more snow on the way. And I'm thinking to myself, I've got to get to the point where it's warmer. I've got to move somewhere where it's a lot warmer and better for my health, right? So physically, I'm struggling, but spiritually, oh my goodness, goody gumdrops. My spirit, right? I woke up and the first thing out of my mouth was, thank you for today. Thank you for waking me up. The second thing was, I rolled over and touched my husband's back and said, baby, I love you. Have a beautiful day. And I proceeded to get up and start my day. So I know it's starting out wonderful because we're all together with each other. And I'm encouraged. I want you to be encouraged now. You take care. Have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to. I intend to. Believe you me, I will.